Unit Project by
Dominic Benedetti,
Yash Kapoor,
and Brendan Slattery.
The Industrial Revolution.
How it all began. The Industrial Revolution originated in Great Britain in the late 1700s, and, before that, goods were usually made by hand in the average household. The Industrial Revolution changed the way goods were produced, both by increasing the production rate of the goods, specifically iron and textiles, that were being imported and exported to increase the U.S. economy. Technologies like the steam engine and the cotton gin affected both the North and South, and, unfortunately, it increased the need for slaves in the Southern economy.
The Spinning Jenny. Born in the 1760s in England, the spinning jenny had changed the way thread was spun. This ingenious invention had an ingenious mind behind it, James Hargreaves. He was born in 1720, but unfortunately did not have access to education as a child. One day in the 1760s, he had a brilliant idea. He realized that many threads could be spun with only one wheel. It took him 4 years to actually build the spinning jenny. The spinning jenny could spin 8 threads simultaneously. He eventually sold some of his spinning jennies, but competitors stole his designs. Since he was uneducated, he did not apply for a patent on his invention. After time passed, the spinning jenny was improved by competitors and was widely used in the industry. Soon 80 threads could be spun at once, and the threads were stronger than ever. James Hargreaves died very poor in 1778. As improvements were made to the machine, England boomed with cotton mills and textile factories. Then one day, an Englishman by the name of Samuel Slater came to America, after memorizing the designs of a textile factory owned by Jedediah Strutt. He opened a textile mill in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. These mills included advanced versions of the spinning jenny. Somehow, somewhere, James Hargreaves started the revolution of technology that is still going on today.
Interchangeable parts. Wouldn't it be annoying if every time your car broke down you would have to buy another car to replace it? You probably wouldn't because you're not old enough to own a car. But anyway, would you not be mad if your phone battery expanded and stopped working and you were told to replace the phone itself or live with it? Well, this guy solved all of your first world problems. Drum roll, please. No drum roll? Tough crowd. Well, this guy was Eli Whitney. He was an American inventor born in 1765. Eli was bright from the start of his life, and of course he invented the system of interchangeable parts. This is the system in which parts were created identical to each other, so that if an individual part broke, then it could be replaced easily. One other advantage to interchangeable parts is that parts were manufactured much faster in bigger batches. Eli Whitney started using interchangeable parts when he was called by the government in 1798 to assemble muskets.
The cotton gin. In the late 1700s, Eli Whitney thought of a way to clean cotton faster. His machine was called the cotton gin, short for the cotton engine. He hoped that his machine would decrease the need for slavery, but it unfortunately did the opposite. This was because the cotton gin allowed one worker to clean as much cotton as 50 could, which meant they needed more slaves for picking and planting the cotton. However, the North needed more and more cotton to be produced in the South for the textile industry.
So as you can see, the cotton bolls enter the engine, and when you turn on the engine, basically, the wire teeth pull the seeds from the bolls. The seeds are dropped into one of the chambers, and the remaining cotton fiber is put into another chamber.
The steam engine. In 1807, Robert Fulton created one of the most revolutionary technologies during this time period. The steam engine allowed steamboats to travel not only down a river, but upriver in 32 hours, which by sail would have taken 4 days. His technology revolutionized transportation and trade by decreasing time and cost. The steam engine was later applied to the locomotive, which allowed goods and passengers to travel wherever tracks could be laid.
Industry affects slavery. Slavery was necessary for the growth of the economy in the United States of America. 250,000 new slaves arrived in the United States from 1787 to 1808, a number equal to the entire slave importation of the colonial period. As it was mentioned earlier, the cotton gin was the main cause of this, but the need for cotton in textile factories ended the North's arguments about where or how they were getting their materials. As you can see, the number of slaves increased exponentially after every year since the cotton gin was invented in the 1790s. The northern states argued to abolish slavery in the United States, but the South, which needed the slaves for cotton, refused. This argument grew until the Civil War erupted, and the topic became first priority between the North and the South.
This slideshow was provided by the BSDBYK Foundation.